A backend developer writes code that forms the backbone of a website or app. Backend developers are the experts who build and maintain the mechanisms that process data and perform actions on websites. Unlike front-end developers, who control everything you can see on a website, back-end developers are involved in data storage, security, and other server-side functions that you cannot see. Back-end development means working on server-side software, which focuses on everything you can't see on a website. Back-end developers ensure the website performs correctly, focusing on databases, back-end logic, application programming interface, APIs, architecture, and servers. They use code that helps browsers communicate with databases, store, understand, and delete data. Back-end developers are required to have technical expertise, analytical thinking, and excellent collaboration skills. As a back-end web developer, you should be able to work independently to design the web infrastructure. Programming languages: Python, PHP, JavaScript, Ruby, Java, C# frameworks, Laravel, Django, Spring, Ruby on Rails, Meteor, Node.js databases, MongoDB, MySQL, Oracle servers, Apache, NGINX, Lighttpd, Microsoft, IIS. Problem solving and analytical thinking. You will need to find creative solutions when developing a web or mobile app, such as debugging code and revising it without crashing the entire site. As a developer, you should be able to analyze why a portion of code does or does not work, and anticipate and prevent errors. What is backend development? Scalability and maintenance. As your application grows, scalability and maintenance become critical concerns. Designing your application to scale efficiently ensures it can handle increased traffic and data loads without degrading performance. Caching. Implement caching mechanisms to reduce the load on your database and speed up response times. As mentioned, tools like Redis or Memcached can store frequently accessed data in memory, reducing the need for repeated database queries. Load balancing. Distribute incoming traffic across multiple servers to prevent any single server from becoming a bottleneck. Database optimization. Optimize your database queries and indexing strategies to improve performance. Use database sharding, replication, and connection pooling to handle large volumes of data. Regular maintenance. Update your dependencies, refactor your code, and clean up unused resources regularly. This keeps your codebase clean, reduces technical debt, and ensures that your application remains efficient and secure. No one today can live without applications. From sharing pictures with your loved ones to ordering food, to making bank transactions, applications are used all the time. These applications generally provide an easy and seamless user experience, but have you ever wondered how? All the credit goes to the back end of the application that does all the essential tasks that you don't see. This tutorial on back-end development introduces you to the back end of an application. Here's what is covered. What is back-end development? Web development activities that are done at the back end of programs are referred to as back-end development. Back-end development covers server-side web application logic and integration and activities, like writing APIs, creating libraries, and working with system components instead of front-end development, which focuses on customer-facing services and programs. Back-end developers take care and maintain the back end of a website, including databases, servers, and apps, and they control what you don't see. Now that you know what back-end development entails, look at who a back-end developer is. Want a top software development job? Start here. Full stack developer MERN Stack Explore program. Want a top software development job? Who is a back-end developer? Now that you've gotten an introduction into what is back-end development, it is important to also understand what the role is all about. A back-end developer's job entails focusing on website architecture, scripting, and writing code that communicates between the website's database and the user's browser. Data consistency and integrity must be ensured. You will cover the responsibilities of a back-end developer in the coming sections, so keep reading. Next step in understanding what is back-end development is knowing the wide array of skills that are needed to be successful as a back-end developer today. Python, Java, PHP, SQL, Git, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, communication data structures and algorithms. A back-end developer creates code that does relational mapping to retrieve data from a database. MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, MongoDB, and Oracle database are some of the most widely used DBMS. It's crucial to have a good understanding of how they work. Skills_backend_developer programming languages and frameworks. Programming languages and frameworks are next on the list. An in-depth understanding of backend programming languages is one of the most important skills of a backend developer. This comprises the items listed below. Programming_languages. Node.js and Express.js are examples of JavaScript environments. Java, in particular, was designed from the start to be used on the server. Spring and Java Server Faces are two popular Java frameworks. In Windows systems, the C# language is the recommended architecture for backend programming. PHP, Perl, and Ruby are some of the other languages available. Because backend and front-end developers collaborate so closely, having a basic understanding of front-end web technologies like HTML and CSS is also beneficial. Proficiency is essential not just for day-to-day tasks, but also for developing solutions alongside front-end developers. Want a top software development job? Start here. Full-stack developer Learn Stack Explore program. Want a top software development job? Start here. Database management systems. A backend developer creates code that does relational mapping to retrieve data from a database. MySQL, SQL Server and PostgreSQL, MongoDB, and Oracle Database are some of the most widely used DBMS. It's crucial to have a good understanding of how they work. DBMS backend_developer web hosting platforms. Web hosting solutions enable you to place your product on a cloud service provider and access it via the internet. Amazon Web Services, AWS, Google Cloud Platform, GCP, Microsoft Azure, and Heroku are all popular options. Web_hosting. A backend developer should, of course, have non-technical skills such as problem solving, critical thinking, effective communication, and analytical abilities. It is important for a backend developer to also be able to work both as part of a team and independently. Let's take a look at the primary responsibilities now that you're familiar with the skills. Unleash your career as a full-stack developer. Full-stack developer Learn Stack Explore course. Unleash your career as a full-stack developer. Backend developer roles and responsibilities. Now that you've gotten a more detailed understanding of what is backend development, it is time to explore some popular and in-demand job roles in this field. Backend developer responsibilities. To design effective and efficient solutions, they must first gain a thorough grasp of the website's performance demands and goals. Application programming interfaces, APIs, development and administration. Develop data acceptance and storage solutions for websites, particularly for those involved in payment processing. To identify new features, communicate effectively with developers, designers, and system administrators. Create a website architecture by utilizing correct product lifecycle approaches, such as Agile, Scrum, and frameworks. Organize the system logic. Provide remedies to difficulties with the system. Debug and troubleshoot apps. What is Mobile Backend as a Service, MBaaS? Mobile Backend as a Service, MBaaS, is BaaS intended specifically for building apps for mobile. What is included in BaaS? BaaS providers offer a number of server-side capabilities. Database management, cloud storage, for user-generated content, user authentication, push notifications, remote updating, hosting. API. The front end communicates with backend through an API. In the case of web and mobile front ends, the API is often based on HTTP request response. The API is sometimes designed using the backend for front end (BFF) pattern that serves responses to ease the processing on front end side. Conclusion: in this guide, we've covered the fundamentals of backend development, from setting up your development environment to exploring advanced topics like asynchronous programming and real-time data handling.